Hello, it's me, it's Tom, it's the brains of the operation, it's the knowledge, it's the smarts, and I'm here talking about CM Punk. And I know what you're thinking, I know that you've read the title and you're already smashing me with those nasty ass dislikes, but you know what? That's fine. I know that you come straight from the wrestling channel, I know that you've come straight from watching Joe Hendry's video about 5 reasons why CM Punk can be victorious in his UFC debut. And you know what? It's actually a good video, you can watch that here. Joe makes some decent and valid points, but what I'm talking about is a completely different kettle of fish. So push that keyboard way back and refrain from making any stupid ass comments in that comment box down there. That is reserved for the Brain Boys, or or whatever we're gonna decide to call Team Tom, because I do think we need a team name. If we're gonna rival Joe Hendry's ignorance in MMA, then we need a solid name, and we can just smash him on Twitter. If you haven't followed me already, follow me here. Anyway, I digress. Sit back, push the keyboard back, and listen to why I think CM Punk needs to lose his UFC debut. One of the things that I find frustrating as an MMA fan is encounters with people who discredit the legitimacy of the sport of mixed martial arts. Now that's mostly down to Dana White allowing people like Kimbo Slice into the UFC. Having Kimbo Slice in the UFC, God rest his soul, was never a good idea. People know who he is because of the infamous backyard fights he had that went viral on YouTube. This led him into MMA, you bastards Elite XC for booking him, because while mixed martial arts at the time had gained a bad rep in the US as just dudes in a cage beating the shit out of each other, which is just the perversion of the serious competitions that Japan had been holding. Sure, UFC coined the term MMA at UFC 1, but mixed martial arts has been around for a long time before that. Back to Kimbo Slice. Though he ended up putting a lot of work in his MMA career, Slice started off as a business tool. He barely had any real martial arts experience, and that reflected in the terrible, talentless, money-grabbing MMA fights early 2008. 8 years later, and MMA has come such a long way. The type of martial arts that you can see is a true demonstration of elite competitors. Those fighters, those athletes are competitors from serious backgrounds, from serious Olympic background. It's what makes talking about MMA so much easier to non-MMA fans. The discussion of skill and legitimacy of these athletes is a serious catalyst to forgetting about those seedy beginnings with fighters that would have otherwise been fighting in a bar. So, what's right about sending a guy with no background in martial arts into the top tier of elite fighting? Is that not what Kimbo Slice was? Look, I respect anyone who wants to follow a dream. But the idea of CM Punk competing in the UFC with 2 years experience, minus that shoulder injury time, is like putting Tom Hardy and Joel Egerton with their MMA acting training from warrior into a real cage with a real fighter. The fact that White had to go out, find a less experienced guy in Mickey Gall who otherwise would have and should have had more time outside the UFC to get better at his profession just to come in and fight Punk is nuts. Is that not nuts? Is that not a freak show? That is a freak show. As a real MMA fan, a fan that never liked seeing Kimbo Slice fight, that never enjoyed vicious bloodbaths, that never enjoyed fat guys swinging for the hills, CM Punk needs to lose his debut to legitimize the lifelong work of what it is to be a martial artist. CM Punk needs to lose his UFC debut to demonstrate the seriousness of the art of fighting. CM Punk needs to lose his UFC debut to end that money-grabbing mockery of what MMA used to be and elevate it to the realms of professional sport like the NFL, like the NBA, like the Premier League. These athletes have worked their entire life to get there. No one should be able to buy their way into that. No one should be able to use their fame to get into that. That is not what the sport of MMA should be, and that is the reason why I think CM Punk needs to lose his UFC debut. If you think I'm nuts, if you think I was too harsh, leave it in the comments. Team Tom, Brain Boys, whatever you want to call it. I've been Tom Ransom. You can follow me on Twitter here, and I'll see you next time.